of the IRONMAN Triathlon World Championship. The sun has barely touched the horizon as 850 athletes go through their final mental and mechanical preparations on a day that will hopefully take each of them from Kailua Pier on a journey of over 135 miles. Each is trained in his or her own special way. The 1980 champion Dave Scott has returned, as have the defending champions Scott Tinley and Kathleen McCartney. The Kona coast of the Big Island of Hawaii provides the perfect setting for an event of this grandeur, and what better venue for the IRONMAN Triathlon World Championship. Scott Tinley, the winner of the men's division, is also here.
The Budweiser Light Ironman Triathlon is about to start. It's a self-seeding race. The good swimmers are nearest the water. And if they weren't, they'd just crawl right over the slower ones, making a mess anyway. Once you're in the water, the problem is knowing where you're going, believe me. But it's all McCarthy right now. He's going to win the swim easily. He'll hit the pier as the Ironman leader and get that important head start on the bike. But he does look a little wobbly coming out of it. McCarthy's up. Oh, look at that. Bouchon's made a lightning close change. He passes him almost before they get started. Bouchon takes the lead in the parking lot. You notice that Kim immediately goes to his food supply? It's absolutely essential that the biker nourish himself at regular intervals and drink all the water he can in the straining race. Dave Scott, a strong biker, just blasted by Mark Montgomery and a tired-looking Bill Leach to take second place behind Kim. And Dave's wasting no time making his move. He'd like to stay close to Kim in this race and then bury him in the marathon, which is not one of Kim's better events. And I can see from the headlights of the escort car now that Dave Scott's keeping pace. He's about a mile back. Kim Bouchon's still in the lead. He's been out there now 3 hours and 8 minutes. That away, Kimmer. Now here's Scott Tinley passing Leach. He's starting to come on now. He's a superb athlete. He's strong in all 3 events. Tinley seems as concerned with his brother's progress as he is with his own. Jeff's out there somewhere, but it's Scott now who's bearing down on a tiring Bouchon. Tinley and Scott, Scott Tinley and Dave Scott are riding together now on Alihi Drive, exchanging sponges, and for all we know, maybe they're swapping stories. They're both powerful runners, so a thriller marathon could be shaping up. But Kim Bouchon still has the lead, wheeling into the Kona Surf parking lot. The finish line for the bikers is a starting point for the runners. And here come Tinley and Scott, Scott and Dave. And Kim is tired after a rough ride. But all he has to do is get out there and run 26 more miles. And he'll need all the sponging he can get because Tinley looks fresh and fit and determined. And Scott Tinley has one thing on his mind. Run Bouchon down and win the whole thing. But Tinley has caught him 5 miles into the run. Graciously, he passes along words of encouragement to Tim as he swiftly leaves him behind. Dave Scott, meanwhile, may not be as fresh as the flowers, but he's not about to wilt either. Tinley's out front now, and he's winging. He can afford the luxury of a little stretching, a little prancing. He's keeping himself loose and ready for the final surge. And now Dave Scott wordlessly passes the weary Bouchon. Kim is game, but his chances are gone. It's exactly 8 hours and 7 minutes since he began. Here's Scott Tinley. When he turns here, he's on the way home with about 9.5 miles to go. Fantastic effort. Not so for Dave Scott. He needs water. And now he's at the turnaround, firmly in second place. Just look at Tinley now. He's cruising along the lava beds, no more worn down, say, than I am. Tinley is congratulated as the potential winner by runners so far behind that they're coming in the opposite direction. There seemed no question about who the Ironman is now. It's all over in the men's race. Scott Tinley will cross the finish line in record time, looking as if he'd done nothing more strenuous than walk the dog around the block. Truly, he is the Ironman. The ceremonial lei is tossed over his blonde head, and he's embraced by both race director Valerie Silk and his own wife, Virginia. Little jog works out the kinks, and Tinley's winning time of 9 hours, 19 minutes breaks Dave Scott's old record by nearly 5 minutes. And here comes Scott, a tired Dave Scott. Still, he finishes in 9:36.57. And if Scott Tinley was wondering earlier how his brother was doing, well, here he is. Here's Jeff right now. He comes in third, completing an extraordinary 1-3 finish for the Tinley family. Kim Bouchon, game and gutsy, finishes 8th.